Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the United States Transhumanist Party and Transhuman Club Virtual Enlightenment Salon of July 3rd, 2022. My name is Gennady Stolярov II, and I am the chairman of both organizations, the U.S. Transhumanist Party and Transhuman Club. And today is a special event. It is the launch of the Transhuman Club. Joining us is an illustrious panel of officers for both organizations. We have Art Ramon Garcia, our Director of Visual Art. We have our Legislative Director of the U.S. Transhumanist Party, Jason Geringer, who also designed the Transhuman Club website. We have Anthony Nielsen, our Director of Technology Outreach. And we have David Shoemaker, our Director of Applied Innovation. We're pleased to have all of you join us today for this event and demonstration. Jason is going to show you the results of all the effort that he has put in developing the Transhuman Club website. And while he is setting that up, I would like to explain what the Transhuman Club is about. So the Transhuman Club is the non-political affiliate organization of the USTP. We held a member vote in late December of 2020 to authorize the USTP to create this affiliate organization, and currently that authority is contained in Article 8, Section 1 of our Constitution. The purpose of the Transhuman Club is to help grow the transhumanist movement and to broaden the appeal of our activities to individuals who may not have a specifically political interest in transhumanism. These could be individuals from a variety of demographics. For instance, they could be students in school who want to learn about emerging technologies, but aren't necessarily trying to combine transhumanism with politics. Or these could be people from other political parties who are still interested in transhumanism, but for whatever reason, they would not vote for the Transhumanist Party in an election. And we're trying to find as much common ground with people as we possibly can. So the Transhuman Club gives us that opportunity. And the Transhuman Club is going to be about education. It's going to be about science. It's also going to be about art and entertainment in a refined and uplifting manner. And it is also going to be member-driven. So it will be what you make of it, even to a greater extent than the USTP, because with politics and policy not being a focus of the Transhuman Club, with the exception of educating people about political concepts, which will still be a function. But in terms of making policy decisions, that would still be a role for the USTP. In terms of member contributions, your thoughts on art, science, education, this can be a very pluralistic type of setting where each individual could have different areas of focus, different points of view, different areas that you want other people to collaborate with you on, and you can do all of that within the framework of the Transhuman Club. So with that, I will turn the discussion over to Jason Geringer, and he will show you the website in its current form. Now, this is still a preliminary arrangement in that a lot of options are going to be made available or expanded or reconfigured, including with your input. But we want to show you what we've done already. So Jason, take it away. And you should unmute.
And can you see the Transhuman Club?
Yes, we can see it.
So I went with the future city theme. This, I guess, is this, Gennady, is this, what was it from?
Coruscant from Star Wars.
I didn't even know that. I just thought it looked cool. But so then, this is the groups. We got groups, this is just a widget. Groups will have its own page. So whenever we do some kind of project or something, we'll make a group for it, and then it'll connect to whatever educational stuff we want for that. And we can make our own badges. This is the landing page here. We've got a widget for the salon where you can sign up for the salon, but that's not all completely set up. And then this line here is all the links to all the USGP stuff, the Reddit, you know, YouTube channel, Discord, and the Odyssey and stuff. I was thinking about making these into like buildings instead of the you know, social media icons, and then we just click on the building, because we can make it anything clickable. We could just put some kind of picture in there and make it clickable. So if we're designing your own page, we can have it however you want. If you want your picture to be something that clicks to go to your website, then the about page is pretty simple. It just goes, explains. Looks like it's kind of slow. That's basically what Gennady already said.
Yes, and I do want to highlight something on the About page. Well, first of all, you see the logo of the Transhuman Club here, and you can see some similarities to the USTP logo in that we have the exponential infinity that can also serve as the letter S. You'll note, though, it is a bit more angular. So instead of the circular forms comprising the 8, you have essentially hexagonal forms, and you have a QR code within the logo. Currently, the QR code will take people to the US Transhumanist Party website. In the future, we can configure the QR codes to take people to different destinations within the Transhuman Club. But Jason, if you would scroll up, I want to highlight something about the text of the description. This is our very basic description of the Transhuman Club. As I noted, this is the non-political affiliate organization of the US Transhumanist Party. And all of you who are members of the US Transhumanist Party are already members of the Transhuman Club. You have received automatic free membership in it because you, as the members, voted to authorize it. However, we have the potential to grow the Transhuman Club beyond the membership of the US Transhumanist Party, and this is where the third statement in the description comes in. Anyone who joins the Transhuman Club directly may choose or not choose to be a member of the United States Transhumanist Party. This is where, if people are not comfortable with a political transhumanist affiliation, they would still be able to join the Transhuman Club. And our friend Siba Chamuza from Togo says that is great. We thank you very much, Siba. And by the way, the Transhuman Club is entirely international. So the US Transhumanist Party is focused on American politics. We essentially have to be. We're based in the United States. We're trying to influence the political climate of the country where we live. But transhumanism as a movement has no jurisdictional boundaries. So people abroad in other countries and other countries' political organizations need have no compunctions about joining the Transhuman Club, because again, if you don't want to be involved in US politics, you don't have to. If you live in a country even which discourages political involvement in one way or another, you may still join the Transhuman Club without any concerns about that, because your membership in the Transhuman Club will not have a political dimension if you don't want it to. So Jason, please proceed.
Yeah, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Let's go to the foyer. The foyer is, and I do need to shut down this other computer because it's really loud. The foyer is like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with, old timey, old timey opera houses and stuff, but it's where you go in and it's like a meet, a parlor area where you first come in. And so I got just videos of some of the recent salons, and figured this could be a good place where we can just get people caught up without having to go through everything. You know what I mean? We could put little snippets of what's going on recently and stuff there. Uh, and have it be an open to the public area to where even if you're not a member, you can get here. And I still got to change some stuff. Like I can't hardly see the view button. So I need to go and, change all that stuff. I would really like it if there was some people that would help test stuff. Just go through and see if all the buttons are working, and like that QR code on the other page, going there and maybe see if that works. Because I was wondering if it wasn't high definition enough, and but it might work already. I don't know. And another area where I'd love some help actually is on the mobile part. I'm usually always on desktop, and I tend to forget about what it's going to look like on mobile. And if you look over here, first I'll exit out of this. When you're editing, there's up here in this corner, you could switch it from desktop to mobile, and then you'd see what it looks like on mobile. They're called breakpoints. I don't know why they call them breakpoints, because it's not really intuitive, but if whatever you do on mobile doesn't affect the desktop version, whatever you do on the desktop version does affect mobile. So, if there was somebody that wanted to contribute, a place where we could contribute good is if somebody can go through and make sure it looks cool on mobile and do whatever.
Yes, we always are quite happy to have beta testers for our website. So
Yeah.
if anyone has any observations about how the website could be improved, please reach out to Jason, and you can find Jason on Facebook. And if you want Jason to give your preferred contact information, feel free to do that. Also, Jason's biography is found on the leadership page of the USTP, which I will share with you. But Jason...
And there's also the Discord server. I made a Discord server for the Transhuman Club. I mean, you can go there, or there's a Slack channel for the Transhuman Club. Slack is, I guess, not what we really use for the public or whatever, but the Discord is fine.
Yes, and I will post links to all of
Well,
those.
there should be a link for like the Discord server right on the homepage here. It should be one of them social media icons. Let me go see if it works. Maybe real quick. Man, this is kind of slow. Maybe it's because we're streaming too. I don't know. Because it's usually not that slow.
Yes, well, with streaming, there's always a bit of a lag. But again, do check out the website on your computer if you're viewing this stream right now, and give us some feedback about what you like, what you think could be improved, what isn't running as quickly as you would like. But yes, you can join the Transhuman Club Discord as well, participate in the chat there, offer suggestions for additional features or any fixes that you notice.
All right, so here's the blog. All I did was just put in some filler stuff. I just put basically posts for all the links to different, stuff that's associated mostly with the Transhumanist Party. But like the Facebook page or whatever, or Facebook group, that's basically what this is. You can just post Uh, so we can kind of use this as our own social media platform in a way. I mean,
So this
it
is
does have,
connected. This is connected to the Facebook groups, correct?
no, but you can make it that way. Uh, Hang on a minute.
Yes. So essentially, a lot of these posts were taken from various Facebook groups that have a connection with the USTP, either state level groups or, for instance, the
Hey,
Future Humans Media Group. But for instance, David Shoemaker made a post.
can Gennady, I got something that just happened real quick. Can I
Right.
take like
Yes.
or
Go
two
ahead.
minutes? I'll be
Go ahead.
right back. I'll be right
Yes.
back. All right.
Uh, Now, I'm going to talk a bit about the post that David Shoemaker made, which is specific to Arizona transhumanists. And he essentially wrote this directly on the Transhuman Club site. So, this is one possibility that you can engage in if you sign up for the Transhuman Club website. So, there is a members area that you can sign up for, and that will allow you to post in the blog. And that will allow you to also see and react to the posts that were made by others, which is what David did. So this is intended to be a hub for member activity. This is intended to be a place where you can have your account, you can share your links, you can share files, you can interact with other people's posts, and it has a lot more functionality than the USTP website does right now, because you can upload content, you can download content, you can see artwork in the files that other people have shared, and also you can catch up on our salons and watch our videos. So I was just giving a brief overview of what people can do. And
I
let's
had a
see
finger
David's
bender up.
post. Let's see David's post on the blog here.
Oh, all right. Man, it's usually really not this slow.
Mhm.
And that's
Yes.
why I changed the homepage. The landing page used to have a video on it, and I took that off there and just put a static page.
Right. So here's the post. Here's the post from David. And it's
Yeah,
a
and
very
also
basic post.
you'll have your member pages, and all of your posts will like be in your member page of a list of all the posts that you made. Now, I think you could go there and like click on somebody and then see all their posts that they made too.
Mhm.
So,
Yes. So let's go to the members only area, because our friend Mike Lazine has a question. He asks, how do you log in? He tried using both the Facebook and Google links to log in, and he still needs some guidance about how to do that. But you can connect your Facebook account or your Google account to
yeah, see, this
the
one has that
Transhuman Club
animation
site.
I was talking about.
Yes. So these are quite nice animations that Jason developed with the Grim Reaper being obliterated, and then there's a laser show that you will see if you keep up the page long enough. But for now, uh, let's show people how to become a member, because you can
How would I do
go to
that?
the members only area, and there's an option for connecting your Facebook account, there's an option for connecting your Google account, or you can sign up for a separate account. So you can have an account that's independent of your other social media accounts if you don't want to link them for whatever reason. That's also a possibility.
This is being slow. This is actually why I removed the animation from the homepage so it would load faster. I didn't want it to bog down and then people would be like, oh, before they even look at it. So yeah, this is my profile. thing. So there's all of this stuff, okay, that is like your own personal stuff once you log in. And how you log in is that login thing is in the header. So that should be on every single page. So and then this will open up a form uh, when you first sign up. You know, it's kind of hard for me to show that now because I'm already signed up. But you know, I don't know if the automatic Google and Facebook thing works. Is that what he was talking about? That it wasn't working?
It does work, at least it did work in my case, but
Uh,
there could be some individual issues. So I would suggest if you want to connect your account via Facebook or Google and you're having trouble, let us know, let
yeah.
Jason know, and we will troubleshoot and hopefully figure out what the situation is. Now, also, David Wood says, by experimentation, I found the button on the Transhuman Club that takes me into the Discord, but it wasn't obvious to me that this button was the one to press for that purpose. So he's talking about the icons, and I think uh, it might be a good idea to have some text next to the icons, just to
Well,
give
I
people give
I
people
edited the picture and I actually put the little bit. Maybe it's probably because you can't see it. I'm
right.
guessing. Let me try to open this and go look at it. Because yeah, I like the name of it for the Transhuman Club should be on the icon itself. I put the animation to where it comes in, so it takes a little bit before it first comes up. I could take that off too. But see how that says
Yes,
Transhuman Club?
yes, there it
I
is.
just
So
put some text and stuff too.
hopefully that helps. But yes, it is
Like I
good
said, we
practice.
can make these anything we want. You know, this is just a picture that I edited to look like that with a transparent background, and then I put it in there. So I mean, we can make this anything we want. And as far as David Wood, you know, the whole point of this transhuman club is to connect awesome people like David Wood. You know, so I would love to be able to work with him and give him his like whole own section that he can design however he wants for the London Futurists or whatever. Sort of like a, I don't know, like a franchise, like a how a bank has a branch or something, you know. And then his, because a lot of the problem that I've seen is there's so much cool transhumanist stuff. It's hard to navigate it all. So I've been keeping bookmarks of everything I find, and there's a lot. So I would like to make a good intuitive way for us to navigate the different stuff. So give people like David Wood his artistic freedom to be able to put whatever links he wants to his own stuff. And there's a possibility, you know, if I'm not an expert in the whole business aspect of things, but I'm thinking there's a possibility we could even make a whole other site that is like for David Wood and his futurist, and then connect that to where then he could still control his own monetary stuff and have his own different plans, but yet the email list would all still be the same, and then you know the you know the leadership and admins would still be the same. So they would have to trust us to be admin of it,
Well,
but
one possibility to explore would be giving people the option to upload content to the Transhuman Club website simultaneously with their uploads to other sites, other pages. That way, the content would show up here, but it wouldn't necessarily be the place where people go directly to include it, just because it's more convenient if you do something once and it shows up in multiple
mm,
places.
yeah, 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 and also organizations. you know, I'd like to give certain organizations sort of like this place of honor, and, you know, make them their own page or section or pages, you know, like Humanity Plus. I'm, you know, love to get them people their own stuff, make it to where they, you know, looks cool, and then other people will want to, you know, come and check it out. And you know, I think it's like like David Wood's London Futurist and Humanity Plus. I think there's a lot of people that would think those are awesome, you know, things. They just don't know about it or how to get to it. So again, I want to try to connect everybody, you know. So where were we at here? Groups or the blog?
Yes, groups. Let's go
Let's
to
go
groups.
Yeah. So each one of these groups is going to have their own page. It's basically kind of like the same thing as, you know, a Facebook group, you know, or whatever. Also, we can have the educational programs tied to the group, you know, and then by joining the group, it then connects you to the educational programs for that group. And then we can set it up to where you get a badge. Like we could set it up to where you join the group, this group, and then it has educational program. You go through it, and then you get a badge, and then that badge allows you to get into this next thing, or you know, or whatever. Then badges can, you know, should be able to be set up to unlock stuff. So that way, you know, because I'd like it to have to where somebody, if they come in and they have no money, they could still get all the stuff. They just got to go through all the hoops, the educational stuff, you know, and then maybe make it to where somebody can skip all that if they got, if they want to pay a lot of money to skip it or something.
Well, we're not going to ask people to pay money. So all features of the Transhuman Club are free to members, including the education. We will at some point set up a donation interface on the Transhuman Club for non-political purposes. And we will try to have multiple avenues for people to donate. But all of the content that we make available to our members, unless they're purchasing some physical good from us, is going to be free. So a physical good might be like a pin with the Transhuman Club logo, or a t-shirt, or a banner.
And this, we can set that up here too, which has like an online store thing that we can do. And it has already a mechanism to where any video that you upload, or picture even, to the Wix server, which the free version you only get 15 gigs, so we can't go crazy on that. But you can actually sell that. Like I could upload one of my music tracks and even sell the audio track for whatever. I haven't set none of that stuff up, but it is something that we could do.
Right. So if individuals want to engage in commercial transactions or facilitate commercial transactions for their own products or services, this could be a venue for that. So you could post an announcement about it, like you're selling an audio track, similarly to how you would share it in a Facebook group, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we do want to be.
I'm not sure of all the logistics and everything, but I think it's probably possible that we can do it.
Yes. So now let's go to the salon, and this is an elegant place to view our virtual Enlightenment salons. We have David Wood's salon on the Transhumanist Shadow featured here.
I just made a channel. They're like albums or whatever, so or categories, and I made one for memorable, and of course, you know, David Wood's awesome, so put him in there first, you know. And then I put some of them uplift ones because I liked those, and I really liked that debate on artificial intelligence with David Kelly and Connor Lee. That was good. But we can make different like albums out of the different salons. off my top of my head, I'm thinking I want to make one with the in the weeds science about all the longevity science that we've come out with, the death of death panel, and those ones, put them together. And then like maybe the AI ones, and just make categories for them. You know.
Yes, and you can see also a bit of the laser show that Jason has designed. I think this is a futuristic chandelier that emits laser lights.
Oh well, you know what? That I think that picture has a bunch of. Let me try to move this out of the way. Yeah, that picture has a bunch of Easter eggs in it, by the way. Like down here, the regular picture don't have the USTP, uh, symbol or whatever that is. That one there, you probably might not be able to see it because my bar is in the way, but that one's Charlie Cams, you know. And then there's like, I don't know, different. There's right there is a transhumanist party symbol thing, you know, weird stuff. I got the USTP thing on the chairs, you know.
Yeah, so a lot of our member generated logos for transhumanism and the USTP made it into that graphic. This is actually originally a 19th century painting of an 18th century drawing room in the Sanssouci Palace at Potsdam.
You can't see it here, but the guy signed it down in the corner really cool, like to where it's like part of the background and you can't hardly tell that it's signed. So I thought that was neat.
Yes,
I like when artists sign in a way that it's part of the, picture. Just track.
the artist's name is Eduard Gärtner. Of course, this painting is in the public domain, so Jason just redecorated a little bit in terms of the furniture of the room. But the painting is impressive in its own right. I will share a link to that shortly. But Jason, I think this is a good time to delve into the education section.
Yeah, we can make these however we want. Inside of these, when I'm putting them together, you can link YouTube videos, you can link a PDF in there, you can add almost anything, Google form. Here, this one should be. I just use the regular Wix uh, tutorials and linked to those. And then for like this navigating digital information one, I already had that from the wisdom of the crowd. I really think this is a super, it's like 10, it is 10 lessons, but I think it's really handy for everybody nowadays because it talks about how to lateral reading, and like when you read something, some news story, you want to go check out some other sources to make sure you don't want to believe something until you see it in 30 places or something. Different ways of that I thought was really helpful. And I put the platform of the USTP in here. It was just some basic stuff, mostly filler, so we had something there to show everybody. But we can make whatever education things we want, and have them tied to the group.
Yes, and if you have suggestions for educational modules, please let Jason know as well, because he has been building up our member education sequence. If you go to the USTP official documents tab here under education, you will see that we can categorize content as well. So we have two modules about the USTP right now. The first one is about our platform in Article 6 of our Constitution, and the second one is on our Transhumanist Bill of Rights. So right now these modules are essentially just showing the content of our platform and the Transhumanist Bill of Rights. So you can go here, read our platform, read the Transhumanist Bill of Rights version 3.0, and after you're finished with it, you can mark it as complete. And this is primarily for your own purposes to track that you've read these documents. And I think it will be useful later on
We could
when
set it up to
we,
where they get a little badge too.
right,
Even if the badge don't mean nothing, it's still it shows up on your little card of your profile pic. You have a
yes,
little
yes.
something.
So if people have read these documents, they could indicate that they've done so. And that way, when they subsequently engage with our platform or the issues of the day, we know that the engagement is coming from a person who is more familiar with what we stand for. So we have, of course, people in our social media groups with varying levels of familiarity with transhumanism and the USTP. And
Mhm.
while certainly this kind of self certification is not going to be perfect in terms of identifying who is really knowledgeable, it's
But
still
it's
better than
something.
nothing in my view.
Yeah, yeah, it's something. It's better than nothing. And and even if you know the Transhumanist Bill of Rights already, you just go there and click through it. And just let us know you know it. I mean, it's you know. But if you don't know it, you can also go there and learn it. Oh,
Yes, precisely, precisely. So let's go to the forum now. This is where members can post their thoughts, their suggestions, and you can see here that we have multiple subforums here. I've made a welcome post, and also the forums can be configured to be either publicly viewable or only viewable by people with administrative privileges on the site, or only viewable by certain members. So we have that flexibility.
custom. We can make custom role with custom badge. That yeah, and then they will be the only ones that can see that particular forum. That way we can, if we're having some sort of, I don't know, debate and you want people only in there that have a certain required reading, then yeah, it saves a lot of time when, people are, you know, that way, people are up to speed before they get there. So yeah, we could set them up however we want. Also, see how this one has a heart? You can do a heart. That's probably me that put that. But you can also set this up to where it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then all of the comments, uh, like if there was any comments, then the comment that has the most thumbs up will rise to the top. You know, so there's that.
Yes. So David Wood has a question on the forum. He wonders, what is the added value of having a forum on the site compared to using the powerful forum capabilities of the Discord server? And Jason, I'd be curious in your thoughts on this.
Well, it's for one thing, it's on site. It's on this particular the website itself, so people don't have to go somewhere else for it. And second of all, not everybody's on Discord. There's going to be a lot of people that don't go to Discord. I agree that it's when it comes to live chat and live working in, the Discord server is better, but not everybody's going to go there. Everybody will go here because it's like the center place for it. If we were to do something that's like some kind of project or something where we needed to talk a lot, I imagine we probably would go to Discord or Slack or something. But and then this is also a way where we can sort of publish stuff, from other places, and it's all in one central location.
Yes. So there could be some internal capabilities that this type of venue would offer us. If we see something on this forum, we could perhaps amplify it more effectively. But let's go to the
And
range. Yes.
also, one thing I might add is this is super customizable. You know, Discord is all boring looking. I know it's not about what it looks like, but we can literally make this look how we want. You know, so that's kind of a cool thing, I think. The amount of customization, even though Discord out of most other platforms is pretty customizable, but this is way more customizable. I could make it a kitty cat if you wanted to look like a kitty cat or something. You know what I mean? Anything. So,
So let's
what,
go to the ranked choice voting subsection because that has an interesting capability.
um, what did I do here?
It's under the forum, but what it allows you to do is to essentially find out more information about ranked choice voting initiatives by state. And
Right.
this is very useful because we need to advocate for ranked choice voting in as many jurisdictions as possible in order to make the Transhumanist Party electorally viable, to get people out of this lesser evil trap that they are often at least perceiving themselves to be in. So you
And
can
another
see,
another reason why I added this was just to let people know and the editors, whoever's going to be helping me, is that this is something that I just copied and pasted some HTML code into this box thing that from Wix, and there's all kinds of code and stuff and things, little apps and stuff that we could add to the site that is super easy to do. Just copy and paste the code into the box and blam. Uh, well, go ahead. Sorry.
yes, and you can see the versatility of this site. Jason was able to embed a map like this directly onto our page. And there could be other widgets, other interactive graphics from other organizations that we would be able to put on here.
Right. Like this "Hey, say something" thing. This is just another one of them HTML things where I just copied and pasted the code into the little box. This isn't even a Wix thing. It's just, just something I found. And there's all kinds of free codes out there. There's all kinds of free everything out there, really, which is part of another thing I want to do with the site is curate a lot of this free stuff, like all the free video editors and maybe a link to a good what do you call it, where they look at it and tell you which one's the best one, you know, because I mean I've spent a lot of time looking through all the video editors, and I pretty much know a lot about which ones are a waste of time and not. And couldn't save you a lot of heartache or whatever. But stuff
Yes,
like that, there's a lot of free stuff we can curate for the members and get make it worthwhile for them to go there.
the curation capabilities here are excellent, in particular because there is now such an abundance of information on transhumanism that it's really worthwhile to have people who select essentially the best or highest quality or most reliable information. And I'll also point out David Wood has been doing this with his vital syllabus. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my hopes here is to also integrate the information from the vital syllabus onto the Transhuman Club website so that people would have access to these video sequences that they could watch along with the other videos on the site. And this will be another
And a
convenient
link where they
portal.
could buy his book if they want,
Yes,
and stuff. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So now let us go to some of the member-only pages and see what we've got, including some gaming capabilities.
Yeah, that again, that's another thing that I mostly added just so you could see what it is and what kind of stuff that we can add to the page. These are just super simple, like old Nintendo games. Um, if this would go where it's wanting to go, yeah. Like the CEO sim. This is just an old game that I used to play called uh, Aerobiz Supersonic. It's where you're a CEO of an airline company, uh, and you got to send out new flights and blah blah. It's super simple, but and I'm not even seeing it. Oh, okay, there it is.
Yes, so some of these are going to be loading, and do test out, especially if
Yeah,
you've already joined as a member, do test out the games and let us know if they work for you. So you can see for this particular game, it's a Flash game or the contemporary equivalent thereof. I was familiar with them back in the era when Flash was ubiquitous, but do try them out. See if you can play some of them on your computer. And these are intended to be educational entertainment. So
right,
we're not just
right.
putting in time wasting games, we're putting in games that develop some sort of cognitive skill set, some sort of perhaps simulation of a part of the world that might be valuable for our members to interface with, or games that are creative, games that are analytical. There's a chess game, for instance. There's a Minecraft analog that's built in. So we
There's
have
one
a lot of
called
options.
this KOEI company. I don't even know if they exist anymore. Well, I think they exist, but they didn't. They stopped sort of doing their historically accurate ones, but they did have a whole series of historically accurate games, which was really cool. They had one that was uh, Uncharted Waters. I have that on there, and I thought it was really cool because it helps you learn geography. You could sail your ship all around the world and stop at different ports and sell goods and stuff. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. These here, you have to kind of go to control settings and then set up your buttons however you want your buttons. Like I usually go in and set A to A, B to B, so I can remember it right. Because these are the buttons on the regular Nintendo controller, or actually, I think it's Super Nintendo, because regular Nintendo didn't have these right left buttons. But yeah, so if you can't get it working, that might be why, because you gotta push these buttons. So you gotta push start, otherwise it'll be on this loading screen. So yeah, I added just a regular. This one I think has the game room retro is I think where Minecraft is. And then the historical war sim has uh, Romance of Three Kingdoms, which is like this ancient China um, simulation. War in ancient China around like 100 AD, I think. Quiz game has Jeopardy on it. That's all I so far. And then there's this shared gallery, uh, and we can make this public or not public. We can make it a member page or not a member page. Really, anything we can make either a member page or not. Just so we know. So this is should be where people can just log in and upload whatever pictures they want to share. And this is saying that it's going real slow, which it is. I think it's because I'm also streaming up to Zoom and everything.
Yes, there are a lot of features built into the website. So most likely, if you're running it on a faster computer or a faster internet connection, you're going to get the elements to load more quickly. But I am getting feedback from members that the features are working for them. So this is good. And Rudy Hoffman writes that he is enthusiastic about accessing the education forum classes over time. He thinks this is a really nice functionality. So thank you to our friend Rudy for those remarks. And now there's a question from Mike DeVerde, and he wonders, is this website protected against the prying eyes of Google, Facebook, US government hackers, etc.? I would say my answer is to the same extent that all the other websites are.
Well,
So we
maybe
have,
even a little more. Maybe even a little more, but that's kind of on accident because I'm still a slacker, kind of. I haven't learned how to do the SEO, Google search engine optimization thing that well. So I'm guessing that if you searched for Google for the site, you probably wouldn't even find it because I haven't set none of that up yet. And we don't have to really. I mean, unless I think we probably should, so it gets you could get it will get found by Google and all that, you know. But right now, it's not. Um,
yes, we
is
want
there?
people to find out about the Transhuman Club, certainly, but we do have the distinction between the public area and the members only area. And with the members only account, you have the same protections that you would have on any other forum, on any other site where you have your own account. Now, the address of the domain is transhuman.club, but right now that redirects you to the Wix site. And the Wix site does have an HTTPS URL, so it is a secure site. And the HTTPS protocol is, of course, used ubiquitously throughout the internet. So when you submit information or when you access the site, you do that over a secure connection. Now, can I guarantee that the National Security Agency of the United States isn't spying on this site? Well, the NSA is spying on all of the websites right now on the internet. That's the unfortunate era that we have lived in essentially ever since about September 11th, 2001. And then Edward Snowden revealed this in 2013. But if you're using the internet at all, the NSA is probably collecting some sort of information about that usage. The question is, how much information are they collecting and what can they do with it? I think that's more a matter of how much political and public scrutiny there is on the NSA than anything else. Edward Snowden really helped in this regard, in fact, by making Americans aware that this is happening and getting people sufficiently upset about it that I think the NSA internally had some second thoughts about doing anything with the information that
Well, man, the big problem there is they can like arrest him and do whatever they want to him, but they don't even have to say why. And see, that's the whole point. It's not like he even says that he should be able to get away with whatever he did. He's saying they should at least have to say publicly why they're arresting me, but they don't. They just, oh, because of something, and that's it. And that's not right, you know. I mean,
yes, indeed. So Art Ramon says in the YouTube comments, NSA knows transhuman super soldiers already exist, so they'll leave us alone. Rudy Hoffman says, welcome to all NSA bots and other groups. We did have a spam bot in the chat before. I, of course, deleted the sorted spam that it posted. I don't think it was from the NSA, though. We are part of the good guys, I think, writes Rudy. So, yes, we are part of the good guys. We are definitely on the side of the United States. We like the United States. Happy 4th of July. By the way, we want to make the United States a better country, a more robust country where we have free exchange of ideas and we have technological advancement and we have a good standard of living for everybody, in particular, so that people don't take recourse to toxic ideologies out of frustration. So we are here to help make the United States a stable and more satisfying place to live. we have our art gallery here under photo albums. So Jason is showing some of the artwork that we have uploaded, and some of this is explicitly transhumanist art, like the City of New Anti-Death painting I commissioned in
Which one's
2017.
that?
It's the one that you just,
This one?
yes, this one. So you can expand it and see more details. I also included some zoomed in excerpts from that painting. This was a digital painting created by Ekaterina Valinakova, who is an artist who paints a lot of spacescapes, cityscapes, and I commissioned her to do this painting in 2017. This is actually a painting that's available in extremely high resolution on the US Transhumanist Party website. This is more of a medium resolution version, but I highlighted certain elements. You can see a lot of distinct architectural styles. It's as if you're able to take a stroll through this future city and observe all of the buildings. This is a society, of course.
Is this a piece of the other picture?
Yes. Yes. So you can see some of the architectural detail. This is a remarkably high resolution painting if you download the original file. But this is intended to illustrate what humankind might be capable of reaching once we overcome the key problems facing our species, like mortality or the extreme scarcity that many humans are faced with today. And this is a picture of a world of sustainable superabundance where everyone lives lives of open-ended duration. This is a painting by Morris Scott Dolans, who was a mid-20th century painter. He did a lot of space art. He also created some concept art for futuristic cities, and we have a few of those embedded. We have some proto-transhumanist artwork, including artwork from artists prior to the space age who envisioned, for instance, what the views from surfaces of other planets might be like. So this is another Morris Scott Dolan's work, as is this one, a future city kind of envisioned from the late 1960s, but you can actually see a lot of architectural elements that were subsequently built in certain cities within the United States. And of course, you have a rocket ship here, kind of like Elon Musk's Starship. You have a floating city here near Ringed World. So a lot of interesting aesthetic possibilities for
that's something I kind of wanted the whole community to talk about too, is what just general aesthetic we want to kind of go for. So far I've really liked the whole future city thing, and then for interior stuff I like how we got the salon, that salon picture to go from, and have for interior stuff sort of like that Renaissance, really cool looking ornamental, old what would it be, European probably, right?
Yes, yes. This is architecture and decor from the 18th century Age of Enlightenment, but we can certainly also have images from other epochs in Western European history, including the Renaissance or, say, the 19th century. A lot of interesting, uplifting and refined and visually appealing possibilities there. And Rudy Hoffman says that a lot of these pictures look like the covers of sci-fi books that he used to really like before,
I just
in
called
his words, the cynicism of
Sorry,
maturity caught
Rudy.
up with him. Well, we want to dispel some of that cynicism. I think that would be desirable because we want to rekindle some of that techno-optimistic vision of the future, as well as what could people explore? What could people do with emerging technologies once they are at a more developed stage? So all of these views from other worlds, hopefully we would be able to go there someday. Hopefully we would be able to have ways to compare and contrast what these artists envisioned with the reality. And we already do to some extent because we've sent rovers to Mars, for instance. We've sent spacecraft throughout the solar system. And sometimes the early artists' projections of what these spacescapes looked like were remarkably accurate.
So,
So yes, we have the events functionality here. So talk a
right.
bit more about that, Jason.
See, we can stream actually right from our side here. We don't have to like go to StreamYard or go to, Zoom or whatever. Only, I think we only get 3 a month or something like that on the free plan. But with that comes, then there's going to be this events page. And so there's actually, I think, 3 pages. There's going to be like this one, and then there's going to be a page that you go to when you're waiting for it to start, I think, and then there's one that you go to when you're watching it or something. So, uh, yeah. So I was thinking along with that, uh, I made this theater page. I haven't thought and got too much into it yet, but I was thinking we could have some sort of where we emphasize our latest cool thing that's going on or whatever. We can have a little, basically what we do with the Enlightenment Salon, but just uh, have.
Yes. So if you want another elegant setting to watch particular videos or view other content, this will be the place to go. We have, of course, a special salon section, but the theater could be for other videos, or if we do streams via this site, this would be the destination for them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. So
So
what else we got here?
I think we've covered most of the pages of the site at this point. I am curious what our other officers have to say. Let's go to Art Ramon. Any thoughts, comments, impressions?
Yeah, probably because this is a free Wix site, we'll probably need to get rid of some of the animations in the short term because they might slow it down too much. Some of the artwork that is not in the public domain, well, the original artist might have an issue with it. So we might have to replace those images. But I've been playing around with that Dolly program, the AI art generator that Zach was doing, and we could probably replicate a lot of these images with the AI
Yeah,
art generator. I mean, that's something
totally.
anyone could do. You don't have to be an artist. You just type words and it
Yeah.
generates it for you.
Uh-huh.
So that's probably something we should do with all the
I
images that are
totally
not
agree
in
with
the
that.
public domain.
Like this Coruscant one,
Yes.
I don't know whose that is, and if we want to lose that, that's totally cool with me.
It was available publicly on Wikimedia Commons. So this particular image, I believe to be in the public domain, or at the very least available under a Creative Commons license. Of course, anything created before 1927 now is in the public domain in the United States. And creations from Europe have generally a shorter copyright term. So for at least a lot of these, I think they're in the public domain already. But this is definitely something to consider whenever we upload a piece of content to the site. We want to make sure that nobody would object or have legitimate grounds for objecting. And the AI generated imagery, I think, would be a great aspect to include, particularly because that is on the cutting edge of transhumanist technology. And there have been some
Yeah.
impressive visual creations that I've seen recently, including some cityscapes generated by our very own director of publication, Zach Richardson.
So yeah, definitely give the artist credit if it is in the public domain. Find a way to do that, and yeah, and it's a good start. And with feedback and iterations, we'll definitely make improvements on it. So definitely give us your feedback.
Yes. And
So you mentioned the animations. I kind of put those in there, so I mean those can be removed super easy.
it's a
Like how the
question of how bandwidth intensive or how many other resources they would use. So
yeah, and that's
I
why I
think,
removed it from the landing page.
right.
Like I did have that one that has the death on there getting zapped by like lightning bolts. I did have that as a landing page, but I took it and put it for this one so that way less stuff is loading first.
Right.
But like this little animation, how this Facebook thing comes sliding in, that don't have to be there. Uh, how the welcome to the club sort of comes out at you, that don't have to do that. All that's optional, you know.
I would suggest if any of our users are experiencing slowdowns on particular pages, to let Jason know, because then he would have an idea perhaps of what elements could be causing the
Right.
slowdowns or the issues. It's not necessarily the case that every animation is going to be resource intensive. For instance, your typical GIF file is not going to be resource intensive. But if you have video with many megabytes of information in it, that could be resource intensive.
And also they're timed. Like for this welcome to the club thing that sort of comes out after you get there, it's set to where it doesn't start for like a couple seconds. So it might maybe, I don't know, look like it's being slow, but it's not really. I mean, I meant it to be that way. So I mean, I can change that. I can change it to where it comes out right away instead of waiting a couple seconds. So I just wanted to let people know that if it seems like it's coming out slow, that might not necessarily be because it's slow loading. It might be because I meant it to. you know.
Yes. So now let's hear from Anthony. What are your thoughts?
I kind of echo what Art was saying too about it being graphic intensive, and possibly, maybe being keeping in mind what is public domain and what is, what is copyrighted. Other than that, I've kind of cruised through it while you were talking, Jason. It loads up perfectly fine for me. I'm sure it'll get built out more and more as the platform gets used. I think it's got some potential for different channels. I like the idea of having maybe separate breakout channels or like one that maybe goes in to a deeper dive into the science behind certain technologies that are being championed by transhumanist causes like AI, longevity. And you know me, I'm more about the applied sciences and material sciences and engineering. So that would be really cool to see as well as more, I guess, more bite-sized pieces of technology and science for people to kind of review and kind of get involved with. I like that there's different or that there's As far as I can tell, there's tiers to membership. I don't know that we need video games, to be honest. I mean, that's a cool little caveat, but
Yeah,
you know,
like I said, I said this is Gennady. I mostly just put those there to show you guys that, hey, we could do this. You know, I mean, there's other things besides video games that would work, like you know, a calculator. Like I think on one page I got a currency tabulator, like how much is a dollar in yen or whatever. You know.
yeah, actually, some apps or some like like calculators for conversion ratios or some
Mhm.
practical stuff like that. Even like standard unit to imperial units, or for us
Mhm.
Americans here that that don't. I mean, I use the metric system, but I mean, stuff like that, what I think would be cool too, like something that kind of drives traffic to the site, that has a practical application for other people to use, a place where people can come and gather information and participate in conversation about different topics. I think it's at least at this point a very solid start. I think there could be some tweaks here and there, of course, with graphics and whatnot. But as far as I know, this is still just the initial iteration here. We're not, I is this and this is currently live. If I can access it, then this is something
Uh,
other people can access as well, right?
yeah, I kind
That's
of did
correct.
publish it before I was really ready, but you know, you can't let get perfection parallelization. You know what I mean?
Well,
Uh,
and I would say too, like like in that maybe even like I don't know if there's I mean, I'm sure there's like a contact section somewhere, maybe something that people can add feedback on what they want to see, what kind of functionalities they would be curious to have, and then you could maybe craft it to meet the needs of the audience, whoever our audience is out there.
mhm. I also want to try to craft it to meet the needs of like our, I don't know, I'm not sure what to call them. You know, awesome people like you. You know, you can have your own section for whatever disruptor scientific.
Yeah,
You know, and
I
then
mean that would be cool. Like I mean,
cater
just
it
like
for you. For if you have like your own little peeps that do, you know, put what they want there. If they want the calculator that does whatever, sweet, put it in there. You know.
well, and yeah,
And
and two, like and like you said about kind of different blogs and different channels. Like I mean, I think it would be cool. Like I mean, I'd be honored to have my own like little blog or section where I can talk about the kind of innovations coming out of my lab right now. Just because there is a huge influx, and I just post things on Facebook, and people are like, "Wow, that's great, that's amazing," but somewhere something where it's even got potential to reach a larger network within the transhumanist community
mm-hmm.
for collaborative purposes. I think that would be also another great sort of a feature or something that I could see being a like like further down the line, something that would be beneficial, just like a citizen scientist kind of community or platform, or things where people from different laboratories or different organizations can collaborate or talk about the kind of work that we're doing, maybe reach out to each other and have some sort of open source information about certain things, or maybe even reach out to the biohacking community, because I do think that that's something that we have a chance to integrate into transhumanism as well.
Yeah, the the Transhuman Club was I guess sort of inception because of money in a way. We needed something, but it's not like a business necessarily. We're
No,
not really. I mean, you might be business guy, but
yeah,
me and I'm not really. We're not really scientists that actually do the experiments. Well, maybe you are, but you know what I mean. And we're not like the business guys that make the whole unicorn $1 million. We're people that connect these people together and
and that would be cool to see. That would be very
give them
cool
a
to see.
cool place to be. you know.
Have you heard of there's a platform called JOGL, Just One Giant Lab, and it's and I think that what they do is kind of cool, and it's like, maybe we could borrow from the concept, but they've got a platform for different labs to kind of open source their information and collaborate together. At the beginning of COVID, they actually had a massive effort to outreach effort to reach out to different labs and give them the actual PCR method for developing COVID tests back when there was a massive shortage of those. And I think that's I'm like, that's a really cool idea. Maybe we could do something like that, where it's like, this is a place for open source information. Scientists who are involved in transhumanism and stuff could maybe publish stuff or get people involved in open sourcing their, leveraging other efforts and creating a network and a community environment.
Exactly.
That's just where I come from as a scientist myself, and somebody
like,
who believes.
Curate the types of information that they particular would need. Like in your section, we curate the types of information that it would be valuable to you and to what you're that part of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm not involved in AI. I'm not involved in longevity. Of course, these are causes that I'm interested in, and I'm more of like the immediate materials right now. What is our
Which, that's awesome. We need all these people, and that's what I think we can do very well, is connect all these people together.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is a good opportunity to do that. It's through the Transhuman Club platform here. I think it's a good, it's at least a very good start, and I would love to see it develop further.
Yeah, a lot of the reason why I put the games in there, just I'd like it. I like they're for something for people to do while they come here.
Yeah, if you're idle or something, it at least drives traffic, keeps people engaged, even if they're just playing video games.
Yeah, even if it's Angry Birds or whatever. But also in the future, I think we can add a whole bunch of really super awesome stuff, like have our own VR meeting place, and just get crazy with it. I mean, we are supposed to be the ones with technology, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
I know there's a whole community on Discord that Dan Elton showed me, and they're pretty cool. They're active, and they meet every Saturday in VR. I'd like to get them guys involved. Them people, there's women there too. I mean, say guys.
So David Shoemaker, and by the way, thank you, Anthony, for those comments. I think that's great feedback, and we definitely hope to integrate more information about specific technologies, as well as give you a voice on this site, and hopefully that can be done through the blog, but also we will give you the ability to edit the site. I think all of the officers are going to have access to the Wix page. But David Shoemaker has a good question. He writes, great work. Is there a prioritized roadmap to perfecting the site? So he's asking about priorities. What are your thoughts in this regard, Jason? In the near future, what are you hoping to enhance or develop on the site?
Well, priorities. Well, we need that donation button on there, even if it's just going to the same place where the super chats go to, or whatever.
Yes.
We need to get the store set up so that way we can start and we can connect that dazzle that Art has going on and all kinds of other stuff. From that store, we'll be able to do lots of different stuff. I mean, I see no reason why, I don't know, Anthony couldn't have something in there, and I don't know, we'll have to figure it out, but we need a store, a marketplace for us. Eventually, if we get really big, you can make that to an advantage just by if you get a lot of traffic. Um, for instance, uh, we all buy stuff. If we had a store that connected, if I want to buy a drill, oh, my drill went out, I got to buy a drill. If we had a way to buy a drill through us, and we just get the little affiliate market thing, and then take that, whatever that affiliate marketing money is, and put that towards everybody. So that way, if you click on that and have to, I don't know if it has an ad or whatever, however it works, you're actually getting part of that money. You know what I mean? Maybe it's only 1/100th or 1,000th, of whatever it is, but you're not just, ideally that's the way I'd like it to work out. To where if you ever see any ads on anything, well, if you're a member, you're getting some of that money, and so, but I'm
In
not
terms
a
of,
fan of ads, just
right,
so everybody knows.
right. We want to make sure that ads don't obstruct the functionality or the aesthetic of the site. One of the great aspects of the USTP website is that it looks a lot cleaner, a lot more straightforward to read the content because we don't have embedded ads. Now, we do have links to merchandise on the USTP website, and we could easily connect those here on the Transhuman Club website. Art Ramon has kindly created designs for us for bumper stickers, for t-shirts, for other kinds of merchandise. So you could order, say, a mug with a Transhumanist Party banner right now, and we could develop a complementary set of designs for the Transhuman Club and link to them via the Transhuman Club website. So that is a potential revenue source. Another potential revenue source, as you mentioned, would be donations, and we can accept donations via PayPal right now, as well as YouTube Super Chats. I'm going to post the PayPal donation link shortly, and it will be embedded in the website as well. I've been working to get other infrastructure set up, for instance, via Cash App. I'm collaborating with Zach Richardson on this, but this will happen in a while, I would say. So, any other priorities that you want to emphasize right now, Jason, in terms of where you hope to take this site?
Priority. I could really use somebody just a tester. We really need just a tester, and uh, and to look over the mobile, you know, um, and we got most of it looking pretty good, I think. There's this whole wallet. See, my priorities, I guess, is be to try to let you guys know what I don't know, so that way, if there's somebody that can help us, then do what I don't know how to do, which the whole setting up of the accounts. I'm probably not gonna want to be like the money guy, the guy with the accounts in his name and all that. So that's not so yeah. What we'll have to figure out who does that. But there's also this wallet thing here where you can connect it with your like crypto wallet, I think, or something like that.
Yes, and this is what Mike Lazine was asking just now. How about incorporating a way to pay by crypto for those who are into that? We're definitely going to look into this. I don't believe we have that functionality right now, but it should be feasible in terms of building it into the website.
I don't know. It might work right now. I just haven't personally myself went in and tried to hook my wallet to it. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure how exactly it works because I know that me as an admin, if you connected your wallet or if I connected my wallet as a member, I don't see any of that information, and I wouldn't even know the first clue as to how to. I'll admit I'm not a big security guy, so like what Mike was talking about, and then is the NSA or Google's can get in here. I have no clue. You know what I mean? I imagine I could probably get hacked a bazillion ways from Sunday because I'm not, I didn't really necessarily build it all for to be super secure.
So
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's secure via the HTTPS protocol. Let's not. Uh,
Freak everybody out.
yeah, let.
No, it's good. I'm just saying I'm not an expert in that area.
Right. So if you are someone who has IT expertise, please reach out. And we have several people in the chat, Super Thin Guy and Nathan Boyd, who pointed out that they could help. Super Thin Guy works in IT and online applications. Nathan Boyd can help as a tester. Right now,
Sweet.
again, we would welcome that. We think that anyone with technical expertise that could help improve our website, improve the functionality, improve any security aspects, if you think we haven't thought of something and need to think of it, please let us know. But I would say that right now this site is as secure as any other site, any other
Right.
online forum that you could find.
Yeah. I didn't mean to freak everybody, scare everybody. It's not like that. It's all good.
Yes, indeed. So thank you to Rudy Hoffman as well for your good words. He has to depart now, but he says it has been great to be with you, visionary leaders of the future. We appreciate that, Rudy. And as always, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you join us. So Mike Lazine wonders, Jason, have you tested this out yet with your Oculus Quest 2 VR?
I haven't, and that reminds me. There's an app that you can add that it will do a 360 picture, and you can do that without having the VR. Um, and that's part of why I was mentioning earlier that I'd like to maybe get some of them people from the VR transhumanist community involved in this because I don't really know a whole lot on setting all that up. I don't even have the part two of the Oculus. I have the Oculus Go, which is like the $160, cheapest version there is. So I still got more to learn on how we can hook up this with VR, but I totally would love to do that.
Yes.
I'd love to have our own permanent 360 VR world that's going 24/7, a persistent world. That'd be sweet.
It's all a matter of what our technical resources can accommodate. So how bandwidth intensive would that be? That's an open question in my view, but Daniel Twett has an interesting suggestion. He writes that the Lifeboat Foundation website, which has been around for quite some time, by the way, accepts many currencies and lets you direct your donations to an internal project of your choice.
Yeah,
And
I want that too.
yes, he thinks it's a good functionality to possibly emulate. And I agree, it's worth exploring. Of course, the Lifeboat Foundation are allies of ours, and they have been for a while. It's run by Eric Clean. There's a Facebook group as well for the Lifeboat Foundation. So I would encourage everyone to visit their website as well.
That's
So,
what kind of people that we want to try to get give a place of honor to in a way,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
you know,
So David Wood has another question, and it's an interesting one. He wonders, with so many ideas on possibly expanding the scope of the Transhuman Club, should there be a clear focus in the shorter term? In other words, should we try to do one thing particularly well rather than a lot of things less well? And I agree that focus is important. The Transhuman Club is going to be member driven, so it's possible that different members are going to have different areas of focus on what content they put in there. I do want to emphasize that a lot of the outcomes for the Transhuman Club will be what the members make of it, essentially. So,
mhm.
what types of content do they want to contribute? Do they want to share more information about science or about art or about particular technological breakthroughs, or have analytical or educational conversations, even about political topics? So we don't make policy via the Transhuman Club, but if people want to talk about
Yeah, we
current
can talk
events
about it.
or the US government and how the US government works, that's certainly well within the scope of what you would be able to do here. So I think his question is
Kind of hard
less
one,
about,
really, for me, because uh, where would I focus? I'm not sure, really. I mean, there's so much, I mean, just looking at the buttons, there's the blogs. There's a lot of work that can be done in the blogs. There's the groups. There's a lot of work that can be done there. And there's this, and some of this stuff is connected. So, like, when I'm doing groups, I can't just do groups on its own, really, because it's connected to education programs, which might be connected to the different membership plans in some way. And so, um, I don't know. And I guess in certain ways I am kind of all over the place, but not really. Uh,
yes, and I think
I'm not
David's
sure where to
question
focus, really.
David's question is a good one to
Mhm.
think about, especially in terms of a sequential focus. So we may have a desire to build out all of these functionalities, but what do we want to do first? That's something worthwhile. And at least in certain cases, it could be what you feel like working on at the particular moment, because that could get us a bit further along the way. However,
And also that's what part of why I was mentioning maybe look into having a different, even whole site, because it'd be nice if we could be able to bring people like David Wood into, and then they have their own creative influence over their own section, and maybe help us build along the way. Maybe we can crowdsource some of the building of it. I mean, Wix websites are pretty easy. Uh, we could make a standard one that is like a clone, and if somebody comes along, the next person can come along and say, "Hey, I have a group like Lifeboat AI can come along," and we can be like, "Okay, here," and clone them a basic site with all its connections to our site how we want it, to where their menu is leading to places in our site. It might be two different sites, but in a way, it's if all of their internal links are all linked to each other, then it's almost like one site.
so I'd rather keep it to one site. And the reason why is we
I'm
want
just
it to be a
looking
hub.
way off in the
Right.
future. They're kind of.
We want this to be a hub. We want this to
Mhm.
be a place where people can congregate. And
Mhm.
as a result, we want there to be an incentive for everyone to come to the same space,
Right.
whether to converse with other members and share content and share information, or
Mhm.
to view what we have to share.
Yeah,
And
I just want to try to be able to give them their own artistic
right,
freedom over there.
right. And David Wood says, perhaps ask members to give their own suggestions on priorities. What single thing would make them more likely to return often to the site as opposed to spending more time on Facebook. And this is a great
That's a
point
good idea.
because,
That's a really good idea.
right, we have tried to, at least in certain ways, wean ourselves off Facebook, particularly in terms of our internal coordination, because Facebook's built-in structures and incentives are not necessarily what we would favor in terms of ideal organizational collaboration. So if you're watching this right now, if you're watching this right now and in the chat you have ideas for what our priorities should be, this would be a good opportunity to place them. I want to highlight another comment from Jason Mallory. He writes, removing niche networks created by outside advertising on the page can make the website lighter across distributed networks. So he's essentially saying advertising embedded on the site can slow the site down. And that could include potentially hidden advertising. I hope we don't have any of that, because that does, I think, detract from usability. Generally speaking, we want any financial element to be intentional. So if you want to buy something from our online store, for instance, that's an intentional financial transaction. You're going there because you specifically want to. Advertising, I see on certain venues like YouTube, for instance, as a kind of unavoidable feature if you want to get some amount of revenue, and that's fine. However, in places where we can avoid something involuntary for our viewers, I think we should. So, for instance, my policy would be no pop-ups or popovers or anything of that sort ever, because I know how annoying those are.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and then there's not that monetary incentive for whoever the advertiser guy is that we got to be worried about what he wants. You know what I mean? We don't need to, I mean, especially if we're going to allow the people to have creative influence, that means that all the member pages and the outward stuff is going to be all eclectic. It's going to be different, however, so it would be not good to try to even use advertising, because it's better just avoid it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And keep in mind, allowing donations, of course, is a step forward from what we have been doing historically, and we've allowed donations through super chats on YouTube and through PayPal, but a lot of what we've done historically has been able to be done for free, even. Of course, paying for the USTP website, the domains, is an expense that we have had. However, most of our achievements within the USTP, within the transhumanist community more generally, have been through volunteer efforts. And that's something that is extremely important to keep in mind and to acknowledge, that our greatest resource are the people in this community and their minds and their willingness to share information freely and openly, so we don't hoard ideas or insights. We don't perceive the transhumanist project as being zero-sum or negative-sum or rivalrous in some way. We think this is a set of ideas, a set of initiatives that benefit the whole human species. And the more we engage in them, the more people do something that they consider worthwhile in this space, the more the entire human species will benefit. So Mike DeVerde writes that his first priority is the economic singularity. So he would like to see more work on this topic. And this is interesting. Definitely,
We've been
there's
talking
place
about
in
it.
the Transhuman Club for that, for sharing ideas about that, and ideas about any other aspect of transhumanist philosophy or futurist thought, projections about what the future will be like, what economic systems will be like in the future, how society will change, how we could reach sustainable superabundance. All of these are good topics to consider.
Um, yeah, I was actually thinking about that, and seeing if Mike would give us some ideas for the forum and forum, you know, topics, because I'd love to do one about the economic singularity, and
Yes,
uh, yeah.
indeed. To Mike DeVerde or Daniel Twett or Mike Lazine, who have also expressed an interest in this, since you're registered as members now on the Transhuman Club site, please go to the forum and make some posts and start the discussions.
And test along the way. I'm not sure if you guys just as a regular member can go in there and create your own section or not. And if you can't and you want to, either let me know and I'll do it, or I can make you editor. There's levels in the Wix site to where um, I can make somebody just an editor where they can't access the internal, like the email list and the marketing stuff and about whatever the bank account is, you know what I mean? So we could give you the ability to edit it without giving away the whole farm or whatever, and it'll be fine. So if you want to help, let me know and we can figure it out.
Yes. And as I've said, there is a lot more flexibility for collaboration here within the Transhuman Club than within the USTP. Within the
Yeah.
USTP, we
Because
have
with
to
USTP,
hold.
we got to be official, and it's got to be down to the letter, and every dot or I's got to be dotted and T crossed, and otherwise we're slacking. But here we can be slackers, I guess. Just
We can
kidding.
be agile and flexible. Let's put it that way. So David Wood writes, building on Mike DeVerde's suggestion, there could be a regular voice discussion in the Transhuman Club on the economic singularity. And I know, of course, Discord has the functionality for voice discussions. I don't know about voice discussions embedded within the site. That's something to explore. Now, we could also consider the distinction between voice discussions that are internal for members only, tentative, where we brainstorm, share our thoughts, versus conversations we may want to have publicly. And again, not official policy discussions, but more along the lines of exchanges of ideas, where people offer their own perspectives, their own thoughts about how the economic singularity might be reached or how it might unfold, and see if those could be streamed in some way. But here is a members chat feature that Jason is showing us. So Jason, could you describe that a bit more?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little Facebook Messenger thing for us right inside the site. Um, I don't know if this does voice or video or what, but there are external apps we can get that will do all that stuff that can be added. So it is definitely something we can add eventually. I haven't got that all completely figured out, but I'm sure there's a way because there's a will. Yeah.
There is definitely a will. And I will say I'm just astonished at the sheer range of functionalities that is already built in within the free Wix website editing interface. I have not seen a website editor that allows that range of functionalities before. I do have a lot of experience using WordPress, and WordPress is the system using which I have built sites since 2012, so for 10 years now. And WordPress is very intuitive, it's very user friendly, but to have these kinds of advanced features available essentially with a few clicks of a mouse is a major step forward. And I think that's why the Transhuman Club can be so customizable and so interactive.
Yeah, like this members chat thing, that is like an app. I just clicked on add the app and it added a whole lot of it just for you automatically. Um, there's no programming involved or whatever. Uh, and it's pretty easy. Really, I mean, I only started a couple of years ago. I didn't know none of this. I've just been learning as I go, just by messing around with stuff. And I looked through all the different web builders. Weebly was not as good. The Wix's seemed to be about the best one that has all this extra cool stuff, like you said, for free. Uh,
Yes.
uh,
And we often learn by iterating. That is the reality whenever one acquires a new skill set or learns how to use a new platform. Essentially, trial and error, hopefully, with the errors not being great in magnitude, is quite a valid learning approach. So we try out various possibilities. We see what works. We see what doesn't work. If our members suggest any improvements or additional features or features that could be removed because they're not working as well, we're open to all of that. So now I would say we should ask our other officers if they have any further comments. Art Ramon or Anthony, any further thoughts regarding any aspect of the Transhuman Club, the website, anything that we've discussed?
Just that we definitely need to iterate through several times and make gradual improvements. So yeah, good start, and let's start getting feedback and start making improvements.
Yes.
And I pretty much echo what Art said. This is a great start. I think once we get some feedback, we can better whittle it down and direct it towards the kind of functionalities and stuff that we want, based on what people want to see, and based on the kind of things that we've got going on. I think that there's a good general vision so far to begin with.
Yes, I agree. And Jason is going to be our point person for this. I think it's good with endeavors like this to designate a point person who receives suggestions and feedback. So if you have any ideas about how to improve the site or iterate upon the site, let Jason know. His contact information is in our leadership page, which I have linked to in the chat. You can also access the Transhuman Club Discord. You can go to the Transhuman Club
yeah,
site
you
and
can get a hold
register
of
as a
me
member.
right on this website, right on the Transhuman Club website. Right there. It'll be right on site. There's that member chat thing you can do. There's okay, well, there's the member chat thing. I guess you wouldn't want to make a post in the forum to get a hold of me.
But
yeah.
you can connect with Jason using the members interface. That's the point. So,
or anywhere else. I'm all over. I'm on, Facebook and Discord and Slack and wherever. I've got a lot of Reddit, whatever. Just get a hold of me. Also, get a hold of me if you want to be like, because I want to set up some pages for different people. Like each one of us officers want to make their own. I know we got our, profile and all that, but I mean something else, something that we build just for us, and make, show how cool we are, show our different cool stuff we do, you know. And if you want to be one of them people, sort of like, kind of like where I Am Transhuman was kind of going, you know, how they had the different people and you put the badge underneath there. But only I'd like it to where people can make their own, you know, instead of all have, you know, if you want your page to, you know, be how you want, do it how you want, you know. I really, I don't know, I'm a musician and I like to be able to give people their creative freedom because that's what I would do. Even if
Yes.
it looks crappy. If it's on your own page, then hey, it's your own page, man. You know, the rest of it, like the public, you know, like the foyer or wherever we go to chat, we should all agree on. But if it's just your personal page, you want it to look dumb, I guess you can. But I'm just kidding. I'm sure it won't look dumb. It would be you. There's a lot of cool people out there, you know, and that's part of what I want to, you know, like David Wood's awesome. He's doing all kinds of awesome stuff. And if I wouldn't have like tried to look around to see what he's doing, I wouldn't have found all that out. This way we can have all that kind of stuff all in one spot where, hey, what does David Wood do? Boom, and you know, connect to all of whatever he wants to connect it to. Type of deal. You
Yes, indeed.
know.
So, any closing comments from any of our officers? I think we have thoroughly introduced the Transhuman Club website. Thank you to all of the members who tuned in. Thank you for joining the Transhuman Club site membership interface. I remind you, if you're already a member of the USTP, you are considered to be a Transhuman Club member. You do have to go to the website and sign up to get access to the members only area. But the Transhuman Club can have an in-person presence as well as an online presence. So think about the possibility of hosting local events, meetups, discussion groups, presentations to students and schools, or community outreach types of activities. And if you think that the Transhuman Club would be more broadly inclusive and not trigger political debates or political controversies, feel free to use that brand if you believe it's going to be more effective than the USTP brand in a particular situation. The key is there are many avenues, many approaches to spreading transhumanism, and you ought to consider which one would work best in a particular context with a particular audience, because different methods work for different people. And the more methods we have available at our disposal, obviously constructive, peaceful methods that lift everyone up and make sure that we're all headed toward a better society and a better world, the likelier we are to reach that world. So this is a great start. This is a work in progress. We're going to keep working on it. And in the meantime, we really appreciate the work that our officers have put into it. Jason, thank you for spearheading this. This is going to be the beginning of something quite spectacular. So for everyone who joined us, live long and prosper.